To Enugu State, where the governor of Enugu State, Southeast Nigeria, Mbah, appears to be in a hurry to make an impact, hence implementation of eye-catching policies and projects. Governor Mbah has reiterated the essence of constructing 260 smart schools to boost education in the state. In this regard, the governor appropriated 207.8 billion naira, which represents 33% for education in the 2024 budget, and 182 billion naira for the provision of infrastructure that will improve the living standards of residents. Let's take a look at the Smart Schools initiative and how it will improve education in the state. In this story by TVC News, Bamidele Ajayi. We'll be back.
In 2015, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, the UNESCO member state agreed on a minimum educational funding benchmark of 4 to 6% of the GDP or 15 to 20% of public expenditure. This is in recognition of the place of human capital development in the overall development of any nation. Unfortunately, most of the countries are far from reaching that threshold. In Nigeria, the educational system has almost collapsed, gasping for breath over poor funding. The result is that public schools have almost crumbled, while private schools, most of which are poorly equipped and ill-regulated, which has taken over the education space. In Enugu, the state governor, Mbah, aside upgrading the state education sector, promised to, among all programs, to transform the state economy from current $4.4 billion to $30 billion economy within 4 to 8 years in office. Governor Mbah broke the jinx of restoring about 2 decades of inadequate water supply, having Enugu now producing 120 million liters of water per day, a departure from initial 5 million liters of water in store capacity. Similar attentions were given to road construction and rehabilitation, having many abandoned road infrastructure rehabilitated, with Truck A roads receiving attention to ease movement of man and goods in the state. In the Governor Mbah policy document, it dwells more on devoting use of the state budget to education development as the best key to eradicate poverty, improve people's living standard, and produce sound human capital that will be prepared as future assets for state, national, and international entities to explore. In his inaugural speech, Governor Mbah promised to construct 260 smart schools, which is interpreted as one per political word across the 17 council areas of the state. He swung into action with a prototype smart school at Owen in the Kano East Council areas of the state, having awarded a contract for the construction in 135 wards simultaneously, with the hope to hand over the remaining 125 wards smart school projects soon.
The way the smart school program is designed, you notice that we're actually building up from inside, so we're building from the interiors. We're doing a lot of these smart school projects. You notice that they are going on in the various rural areas. And that's because we want to quickly bridge the divide.
At the Maiden Town Hall interactive session with major stakeholders in Enugu, Governor Mbah, among all issues raised, revealed that the smart schools will provide the opportunity to get the children to be at the epicenter of modern learning.
Ultimately, it is about how we prepare them to be able to face the future, how they become emboldened to deal with their peers across anywhere in the world.
The bold step taken to reposition education sector is embedded in creating the Teacher Service Commission to better their welfare and human capital development of teachers in the state.
Sustainability is key, and making sure that we have teachers with the right skills to teach at the smart skills. So we call them smart teachers. So you actually used the right phrase. So we are producing aggressively a lot of smart teachers.
It revealed that each smart school will house a clinic, ICT center, e-library, science laboratory for both primary and secondary school, with center for robotics, studio, and interactive boards.
This again is not just about the infrastructure. It's about the equipment. It's about the modern facilities we have in each smart school.
Participants at the town hall meeting mentioned key indicators that impede educational growth, and they believe that the introduction of the Smart School initiative will address the challenges.
What program does the Enugu state government have to sustain, first of all, to attract and to be able to sustain these smart teachers?
Some civil society organizations that inspected the Smart School project passed a clean bill of health on the initiative, suggesting it should be replicated across the country.
The coefficients here are linked directly to what the UN SDGs are out to achieve. It's for our future, and basically this is a scientific approach towards the quality of education being enhanced for future use.
Considering, as I said before, education is the bedrock of development, and if education is moving fine, every other system, structures will move fine.
Some of the teachers trained for the take-off exercise shared their experiences.
The program has featured trainings on ethics and professionalism, and we were introduced to some tech gadgets such as the Edverse, the Canvas, and the rest of them, numerous of them. And we were also coached by some experts from abroad.
By this initiative, I hope that by 2-3 years to come, Enugu State will rule the world.
Governor Mbah revealed that the key objective was conceived to leapfrog Enugu children into global citizens by ensuring they get better quality of learning with their peers in Europe, America, and other developed economy of the world.
Where our kids in the rural area are and those in the urban. So we want to make sure that they, not just catch up, but they are there to, also have the opportunity to acquire the skills to be able to compete and be bold enough to discuss with their counterparts in the urban and anywhere in this country, or I dare say in the world.
Governor Mbah's targets with Smart School was to introduce earlier child learning, enforce 12 years compulsory learning, and move the state literacy rate from 50 to 100% by next year. Bamidele Ajayi, TVC News, Enugu.
All right, gentlemen, this was part of the campaign promise of Governor Mbah to ensure that the poorest child in the rural area receives world-class education using tools of the 21st century. Bikil, let me start with you.
Yes, and I really can't wait to see these schools take off. This governor is a fresh breath of air, not just in the southeast, but Nigeria. Somebody described him as a governor in a hurry. And, a governor in a hurry, the governor is hungry to turn things around. It is that kind of anger that we want to see, positive anger that translates to real growth and development. And growth and development must be tangible, must be something that the ordinary man can relate with. Not about grammar, speaking grammar and all that. You see, infrastructure is a game changer any day. And you can feel it, you can see it, you can interact with it. Look at that school, the prototype of the smart schools that he intends to build, 260 in number, cutting across the political wards of the state and beyond. Now, the governor has not stopped at that. They're already training the teachers ahead of the takeoff. It shouldn't be when those schools are ready that you start training the teachers, because you want to leverage on technology to deliver the best outcomes for students. And the way to do it is to prepare the teachers. I've always believed that building beautiful schools is not the solution. The solution is in the quality of instruction. The quality of instruction will deliver the best students. High quality of instruction will deliver the best students. You can have beautiful schools and not have the right quality of instruction. And I remember asking Governor Zulum, I saw beautiful schools. And he said, look, wherever we can find the right teachers, we'll look for them. That should be the approach. Now, in a multimedia world that we find ourselves, you must find people who can use those tools to impart knowledge. And the students, too, must be prepared to be able to use those tools to get better in every way as pupils and as students. So I'm happy that those smart schools will have ICT centers, laboratories, library, and robotics center. This is a scientific approach to education, and we have to credit this governor for all that he's doing. When I was told about what he has done about water supply, I said, this can't be real, this is not true, because I know that that's a problem that state has grappled with for so many years. But this guy came fully prepared. During the campaigns, he was nowhere to be found. I'm sure during that period he was thinking, how do I make the difference? What should I do for the people? And you can see, we are seeing the result of solid preparation for governance. Most people, leadership just happens, to them. They are not prepared, and so when they have leadership, they don't even know what to do with it. You must be prepared for leadership. You must busy yourself thinking about how you can make real change happen. That is what I see that Governor Peter Mbah is doing, and we have to encourage him to do a lot more. All right. Even when you see how much he has dedicated, appropriated for education, you know that this is a serious man. I've not seen other governors devote that much to education. All right, then, gentlemen, we need to go on a break, and when we come back, we will continue this conversation. Please stay with Journalist Hangouts. Welcome back to Journalist Hangouts, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us. Interesting conversation so far, and I've been speaking with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Adewale Adeoye. Adeoye, let me come to you, and let me kick off from where BQ stopped, because, one of the challenges raised by parents in Enugu State is that after 6 years of primary school, their kids, 50% of their children cannot read a single word in English, and those who can read have issues with comprehension.
Yeah, the government also noticed that 48% of students drop out of after primary school, and that they discovered that the 664 educational system, does not meet their own best interest. That's why they had to adopt the 1-9 system. That means that when you start primary school, at least you get to SS3, which will be able to make you to acquire some basic knowledge, even if you want to drop out. I think the one striking thing we should notice about Enugu is that the governor is investing in education. And I think that is the greatest thing any leader should invest in. Why are we talking of Obatawa Awolowo today? Because of investment in education. Just for 8 years from 1952 to 1959. But that legacy remains more than 60 years after. Education is a passport to the future. Albert Einstein said that once you stop learning, that is when you start dying. There is no investment that is greater than investment in education. Investment in knowledge pays the best interest. So what the governor is doing, investing over 30% of the budget in education, I think it's a milestone that I have not seen since 1999 in this country. And you are going to see the result in human beings that don't even know the governor. They are not even his relations. You are going to see the impact in poor homes, in rich homes, in middle class. In the next 20 years, some of these people will become professors, medical doctors. So what he's doing is that he's laying foundation for human capacity development. That is the greatest thing that any leader can do.
Building a legacy for him.
Yes. And I think that, look at the strategy. It's not just building this in Enugu City, but in the 260 political wards. That means that nobody will be excluded. This ward is the smallest unit, political unit, and economic unit. And then in all the 17 local governments.
Very strategic.
So I think this is a very wonderful achievement, that we should praise this governor, this striking development. If people can invest in education, it will guarantee future for the people. It will stop unemployment. People will have self-confidence. They will have knowledge. They will be ability to think critically, rational knowledge. And you are going to minimize violence in the society. There's going to be prosperity and stability. So I say congratulations to the governor of Enugu State. I think I wish him the best of luck.
I mean, at the end of the day, these things are not rocket science.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.